What are the most successful business models of today? I work with companies all across the world, helping their executive teams on their strategy, coaching them, and I also work as a non-executive director for companies. So my role is to challenge businesses on their business model. And what I did over the last 10, 15 years to really watch closely what are some of the key business trends, what are the key business models that are really successful. And I've identified 9 key business models that I want to share with you. The first one is that we're seeing a move to a subscription model, or we see what we call servitization of industries. So in the past, companies would simply produce things and sell them. This is a nice one-off purchase. If you produce cars, it gives you revenue at one point in time. But if you can create a service model, this is different, because what you do is you create an ongoing relationship with your customers. So they usually tend to be much more loyal in the long run. And you have regular revenue streams coming in, and so it's smooth as your cash flow. And we've seen this with recent announcements from companies like Apple. They've now moved to a subscription model, pushed lots of their services. So they want you obviously to pay for an iPhone, but in the future they might simply rent you a phone, saying, okay, the service here is that you have a phone because you don't really care whether you own this or not. And then with this subscription, you would get the latest model whenever it gets released. But key service elements are Apple Music, other movie streaming services, and so on. And we see this, that companies who have this subscription model actually get much better customer insights from their relationships with customers. If you compare companies like Netflix and Disney, for example, both of those companies are great at producing content. So they both produce films and make entertainment content. The difference is that Disney has no direct access to customers. They don't actually understand how many people are watching the films, when do they skip, what are they watching, what else are they watching? Whereas Netflix has this relationship with customers where they understand exactly what you're watching. They get a complete understanding of you as a consumer, and therefore they understand when you're skipping, which films you're watching, which series you're watching, in what order, and therefore this gives them much more intelligence in terms of what content to produce next. And this is really challenging lots of traditional businesses that have focused on producing products. If you think about Gillette producing shavers, they are now being challenged by the Dollar Shave Club, for example, that is a subscription service. And what I feel is that consumers from Gillette might buy the razor thinking this is nice, it's probably one of the latest, more innovative razors you can buy. However, with the Dollar Shave Club, consumers are building a relationship, so they have this ongoing dialogue with this organization. And this, I think, is what successful businesses will do in the future, move from a product model to a service model. The second business model is creating platforms, platform businesses. So these are businesses that basically create a platform that then connects consumers, or consumers and businesses, or businesses and businesses. So if you think about what companies like Facebook are doing, they're basically creating a platform for you to share information with your friends. But it is consumers like us, we upload content, we put the likes on the content, we share information and photos with each other. And then we interact with each other, and the only thing that Facebook does is it's creating the platform. And the platform then, being able to monitor this platform gives you lots of information and actually a big competitive advantage. If you think about companies like Airbnb, for example, this is now a company that is valued at a huge amount of money, and it doesn't own any hotels, it doesn't own any holiday lets, but it is creating the platform. So anyone, anywhere can now rent parts of their house or their entire house or their hotel room out on Airbnb, and what they do is they're creating the platform, they're making it happen. A bit like Uber is another platform company that creates a platform that connects drivers to people that need a ride or that want a food delivery or whatever you want. And these platforms are hugely scalable. So we've seen this with the growth in these companies like Airbnb and Uber that are very quickly becoming global businesses because it's so easy. You can simply replicate this platform anywhere in the world. And this for me is another key business trend, especially if you can combine some of the other trends I'm talking about here with a platform business. When you bring in services and so on. My third business model is actually being in a sociable and authentic business. I think if we think about the past, what companies did and said, we don't want you to put the company name on your Facebook account, we don't want you to share information on Twitter. And actually companies became these faceless organizations, and what consumers now want is that they want organizations to be real, companies with real values, with opinions. And the most successful businesses nowadays are actually doing this right from the top. So they have a CEO that is on social media, that shares his or her opinions, that stands up for values. And I think this then filters into the organization where everyone in the business does this as well. And I think this is, me as a consumer, I want this. I want to relate to organizations. I want them to stand up for the right values, and I want them to support the right behaviors. And companies like Apple for me are great examples where a good example was when the FBI challenged Apple, said, we've caught this criminal, we would like to have access to his iPhone, and we would like to put some code in place so we can access information on the iPhone. And Apple said, actually, security and data privacy is one of the biggest values we feel is really important. And they actually stood up to the FBI and said, no, we will not give you that access. And this for me is really important. And actually, their CEO actually started lots of interesting discussions on social media about data privacy and their values and what they stand for. And I think this is what organizations need to do more of in the future. The fourth business model is where businesses really focus on employees. We're now entering a fourth industrial revolution. The war for talent, or the competition for really talented people with good skills, is increasing, is heating up. So what organizations need to do is they need to attract really talented people. And those organizations are really employee-centric. What they do is they will make sure that they offer a working environment where employees feel happy, they have nice offices, but they also have nice organizational cultures where everyone feels comfortable, where if you think about companies like Google, they have amazing buildings, they have free canteens, they have table tennis and pool tables, and they allow employees to really feel at home. The other thing that I think is happening is that if you are employee-centric, it also means that you can attract people into your business and you're happy for them to leave again. We are now entering this gig economy where more and more of us basically work for smaller amounts of time, for little projects, for different companies offering our skills. And so we have choices as employees. Do I want to work for this company or that company? And the ones that I want to work for are the ones that allow me to come in, feel comfortable, and then happy for me to leave again. And those that actually, while I'm there, give me some support, give me some development opportunities. So employee-centric business models are really important. The fifth one is being partner-centric. What you want in today's fourth industrial revolution is a business model that is really agile, flexible, that you can scale up and down, and that leverages all the other companies. So we need suppliers, we need distributors, we need people that help us in various aspects of our business, and we can also outsource certain parts of our business like HR, like marketing, like finance, like social media and so on. And businesses that do this really well, they understand what are the core skills I need within my business and which parts can I outsource. So if you think about marketing, for example, I was just talking about being an authentic business. You want to have more people inside your business actually being authentic, doing some of the social media, but other elements of your marketing, be it your SEO for your website and other things, you can outsource to another organization that can then do this. And this allows you this flexibility and scalability to upscale and downscale whenever needed. So the other thing that's happening is that lots of businesses now along the supply chain can outsource so many components. I was recently working with an automotive company that basically is just run by a few people because they can outsource the manufacturing, they can outsource the marketing, they can outsource some of the development, and actually they are building a completely new car, but without employing thousands of people. They are leveraging partners, and this is, I think, a business model more organizations need to explore. Okay, the business model number 6 is about being customer value obsessed. So companies that are really thinking about how can we make the lives of our customers better, how can we take some of the hassle out of their lives. And those are the companies that are thriving at the moment. If you think about retail as a great example, there are lots of, even in traditional retail, we have lots of frictions. We have I need to drive to a shop, park up, remember what I wanted to buy. This might not be on the shelf. When I then load my trolley, I then go to the checkout and have to stand in line, wait, then take everything out of my trolley again to have it scanned, put it back into my bag. This is silly, right? So companies like Amazon have started to rethink this model and saying, do we really need this? Or could we use technology like machine vision technology to actually monitor what you're putting into your shopping bag while you're in the shop? And they use face recognition technology to recognize you. As long as they recognize you and you have an account with them, you simply fill up your bags and you walk out without having to stand in line at all. So companies like Amazon are really, I believe, are customer obsessed. If you think about their online shopping, what they're doing is they're taking any hassle or any difficulties out of our everyday job, like shopping. I can now go into my app, say, oh, I would like to get a camera tomorrow. You go on Amazon, you look at the reviews, you buy it, and they do great recommendations and they have it delivered to your door the next day. So this is about businesses actually thinking, how can we make this customer journey better? Another company I've recently done a video about, which you can see on my channel, is Stitch Fix. Again, what they try to do is try to reimagine buying clothes, so fashion retail. And what they're doing is they're saying, okay, instead of you finding clothes, we will really understand you as a consumer. We know what your sizes are. We will select outfits for you and send them to you. And then you can try them at home and hopefully love them and keep them. And if you don't like them, you send them back and we will learn from this. So again, making the customer journey better, taking out any hassle, being obsessed with creating value to customers is something organizations need to do better. The business model number 7 is constantly innovating businesses. So this is about businesses that are looking at continuous product innovations, continuous service innovations, and continuously improving and innovating the way they operate as a business. So those businesses are not scared of any future trends. They are happy to embrace and celebrate change and actually do something with those new opportunities. So they are happy to cannibalize their own products and services for better, smarter, more intelligent products and services. And this is something I see a lot. There's more demand for smarter products. I now want a washing machine that tells me when there's something wrong. I now want a car that can avoid an accident. So we want smarter products, we want smarter services. I want a music subscription service that gives me a new playlist. So this is what really successful companies do, they innovate their business models, they innovate their products, their services, and the way they operate on an ongoing basis. The 8th business model is being a data-driven business. Data has now become one of the most valuable resources for businesses. There was the famous 2017 cover of The Economist saying that data is now the most valuable resource in the world. So what organizations need to do, they need to be able to leverage this resource and really use it to drive their business performance. So businesses that use data intelligently understand that they need to collect the right data and then use it to improve their products and services. I was talking about smarter products, smarter services, smarter ways of operating, and data usually is the foundation for this. So you need data to understand, you need data to be able to use things like artificial intelligence. So all these big trends that we're seeing at the moment require data. So really data-savvy organizations, data-driven organizations use data to also inform their strategic decision-making. So they use data to understand trends in the industry. They use data to understand what their consumers and customers actually want and what they're doing and where they might be going in the future. So anticipating needs. I was talking about Amazon earlier. Amazon is doing exactly this. They're now developing an algorithm that looks at anticipating what we are going to buy in the future, and then we'll start their logistics to ship things towards us because they're so confident that at some point in the future we will be buying this. So data-driven businesses are the ones that will succeed in the future. And the last business model is being a tech-savvy business. So businesses that really leverage technology and use it to really drive their business forward. So if you think about companies like Apple, like Amazon, like Microsoft, Facebook, some of the most valuable companies on the planet, this is exactly what they're doing. They're using technology at the basis of lots of their improvements. And the other thing is that they're combining the technology with all of the other key business model trends that I talked about, being customer obsessed, really understanding customers, creating platforms, moving to a service model. So organizations that do all of those together and then leverage technology are the ones that are really thriving at the moment. Also, some of the Chinese giants like Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, they are doing exactly the same. They're creating the technology to allow them to collect data and share data. They have the technology in place to do artificial intelligence and machine learning and natural language processing. They now have tools like voice and chatbots, and they are really leveraging the latest technology. And in lots of my videos I talk about being at the cusp of this new 4th industrial revolution, and technology is a key driver. So if organizations don't explore how things like AI, blockchain, virtual reality, quantum computing, all these major trends, how they will affect their business in the future, and actually trying to experiment to leverage those technologies, then they will be very quickly left behind. So those are my 9 key business models. If you want to learn more about any of them, head to my channel or to my website, and you will learn a lot more on bernardmar.com. You can find hundreds of articles on my YouTube channel. You can see lots of examples of all of this, lots of case studies and other videos that will hopefully support this.